Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are looking at the MLB slate for Monday, August the 1st. We have a 9-game baseball slate. It is August, which means football is basically here. We have college football starting in under 4 Saturdays, preseason starting in a couple of days. I think the first game is like in a week or so. So it's we're gonna be very busy very soon, which is a great problem to have. As always, before we get into the video, if you want to hit the like button for me and subscribe, I appreciate that. You can check out the website, Twitter, and Prizepicks code down below for updates. For Twitter, updates are posted there. And let's go ahead and get started with the 9-gamer. First game up we have is the Yankees against the Seattle Mariners. We got Domingo Germán going up against Marco Gonzalez. Germán's making, I think, his third start of the season. He was injured and battered for most of it, but he's pretty affordable at $6,400 in his most recent start. We can see that he did pitch fine. He went pretty deep into the game. He went 82 pitches, okay for him, but he had 7 strikeouts against the Mets. Played pretty well. Now this is his third start. We could see him start to elevate that pitch count a little bit if he is pitching well. So I don't mind going with Germán as a very good pitching option, but on the Yankees side, definitely against a lefty in Marco Gonzalez. Judge been crushing the ball recently. He looks like a great value. I mean, not a great value. He's super expensive, but a great a great top-end guy to pay up for, to pay your top dollar. Other picks would be like Donaldson. It's pretty affordable. Torres. You're looking at the righties here against a lefty, not looking at Benintendi today against Marco Gonzalez. Next game, definitely the Mets against Patrick Corbin. Corbin's getting blown up a lot of starts this year. On the Mets side, they have some good right-handed bats to target. I like Mark Canha's price tag in the outfield, $3,500. You have a very expensive Pete Alonso. It'll be tough to get to him, and like Marte and Lindor. So instead, McCann get to like Mark Canha and like Escobar, maybe J.D. Davis and the catcher to get you some value. Third game up, the Guardians look pretty appealing as well against Zach Davies. Some of the price tags that look appealing would be like Naylor and Franmil Reyes and Rosario, gives you some speed. Guardians don't strike out much. Davis is not a great strikeout pitcher at all, and wind blowing out a little bit should help. Don't have much interest in the Diamondbacks bats at all. Next game up we have is the Tigers against the Twins. Not a game I'm too interested in. They have a lefty, two lefties going at it, so it kind of takes off like Riley Green today. Not looking at him. Maybe Grossman at his price tag looks fine, but just never really stack the Tigers. They're just one of the worst offenses in baseball all season. And then Skubal's been fine. He's been the Tigers' best pitcher this year, so don't have much interest targeting against him, but you could look to like Garlick at 3,000. Buxton just with the power that he gives you, and maybe like Polanco Correa for like a tournament stack. I do like the Rangers today going up against Spencer Watkins. He gives up some power. He gets a lot of, some lefties in here that can take advantage here. Like Nathaniel Lowe has been playing really well. He's only $3,300. Do like Simeon. He's starting to turn around a little bit. He got off to a terrible start, but the home runs have come up over the last couple of months, and he gives you a lot of speed. So always opportunities for a big fantasy score if he does happen to hit a home run and steal a base, or just have a couple of hits with a couple stolen bases. Astros, wind blowing out at home, look good against Eovaldi. Gives up power, but he's also a pretty good strikeout pitcher. Alvarez is 62. I'd rather get up to Judge, but you can make a case to get to both if you wanted to go really cheap at pitcher. White Sox got some wind blowing out of some of these games, so you could see some higher scoring games and some more home runs today. On the White Sox side, they've been disappointing offensively this year. Get to a couple of them, like Pollock if he's batting third, maybe Tim Anderson, but he's kind of expensive. Eli Jimenez looks fine at his price tag. And then don't have interest in the Royals. You can consider Kopech as a SP2 option today. And then Clevenger looks good as a cheap SP1. They have a 3.1 total for the Rockies. He's at home. He's been pitching better recently, gives you strikeout upside. And going to be looking at a good amount of right-handed bats from the Rockies side, looking at 6 righties, 3 lefties. And then last game up, you can consider the pitchers, not looking at the bats here. We got 2 solid pitchers going at it. Heaney has he's only made a couple of starts, handful of starts, but has like 27 strikeouts in like 19 innings, giving up only a couple of earned runs, 0.47 ERA. Actually, only 1 earned run so far in 19 innings for him. So that's been unsustainable, but he's been pitching great in his starts that he has done. Going back to Draftkings, first guy I'm putting in here is, I do like the 8K range for a pitcher. You have Luis Garcia. I do like Scherzer if you wanted to get all the way up to him, but if not, you have some good value with Luis Garcia and Mike Clevenger instead. Garcia looking to bounce back, even though he gave up some earned runs last start. He still was fine with, at least it didn't kill you absolutely with 14. Oakland, out of all teams, did hit him pretty well, but before that, back-to-back 20-plus fantasy scores, and he's a guy that will go 90-plus, can get you up to 100-plus. And then second pitcher is Mike Clevinger. Now that he's made a bunch of starts in a row, he's starting to get that pitch count up. He got 90-plus pitches last couple of starts. Does give you some strikeout upside. And the Rockies have cooled down a little bit. He hasn't had great success in the couple starts so far against the Rockies, but probably the last one of the starts was in Coors, so that's actually both starts were in Coors, so that kind of makes up for that. First batter that I like is going to be a little bit of a cheap first base option. I'm going with Nate Lowe. He's only $3,300 going up against Spencer Watkins. In his last 10, he's been batting really well. 325 with 675 slugging. He's a guy that also does have some strikeout issues with 93 strikeouts on the season and 359 at-bats. But looking at Spencer Watkins' numbers this year, he's not a strikeout pitcher at all. Only 35 strikeouts in 58 innings. He's given up some home runs. He's had some decent starts recently, but he also has gotten blown up a couple times as well. So a couple Rangers look appealing today. I like Nate Lowe, and then Simeon, a guy that will be able to get on base, batting at the top of the lineup for them. He's 47, but he has 18 stolen bases on the season. He's back-to-back double-digit fantasy scores. He has 2 stolen bases during that time, and he has a total of 5 hits. So he's trying to make up for lost time. It's a little too late for the Rangers this year, but maybe heading into the next season, he can kind of get off to a better start, and maybe they can make the playoffs next year. But I do like these guys, just especially Lau based on his price tag, and I think Simeon at second base. There's not a bunch of other options in that range here. You're looking at like Rogers and Lux and Torres and like Marte. So don't mind getting to Simeon instead. In the outfield, gonna look to get to Judge today. I mean, he's gonna be a lot of people's favorite pay-up option, but it's tough not to like him with the way that he's been mashing. 9 home runs at home. He barely even has to hit the ball, and the ball just flies over that short porch. And going up against a lefty looks even better for him. Would not be surprised if he adds to his home run total today. And we know he gives you that home run upside for a multi-home run game. And then last batter is going to be Mark Canha. Just because he's only $3,500, he plays both against righties and lefties, but he's much better against lefties. Going back to his days with Oakland, it's a good spot for him going up against a lefty in Corbin, and he's done well against the Nationals this year, batting 532 at bats. So he has done really well against them. He seems to hit them well, and going with some of these platoon guys like Lau and Canha, who have big advantages against their matchups, and just Canha does do a lot better against lefties for his whole career. So that's what I like for DraftKings. Go over to FanDuel. So on FanDuel, pretty similar. I just went to Tim Anderson at shortstop just because of the price tag. You have some guys that are over $1,000 more expensive than Trey Turner. And then in his range, you have Lindor, looks appealing if you want to get to him, but the White Sox also do have a high total. I like Anderson with the upside that he gives you high batting average with some speed and some power, even though that hasn't really come this year. And if you wanted to go down, you have like Rosario and Correa as a couple of options. But looking at pitcher, Scherzer, if you wanted to pay up, but I'm looking to get to some bats, so I don't mind going down to like Mike Clevinger with the super low total that the Rockies have, the at home, that Clevinger's pitching, and the fact that Rockies will K a little bit, and he's starting to get up to 90-plus pitches, so Clevinger gives you a lot of upside when he's kind of back to full strength. And then in the outfield, Judge is expensive at $5K, but still you can get to him if you go with another value pick like Canha's only 25, and he's probably going to be batting a 6 for the Mets today. So that's what I like for DraftKings and FanDuel. Let's go look at Prizepicks. All right, so on Prizepicks, first prop that I like is going to be Logan Webb over 3.5 or 4.5 strikeouts. He's going up against the Dodgers, a team that might have like a reputation of not striking out too much, but I don't know. I still think there's enough strikeouts for Webb to have at least 5. He's hit this number in 11 of his last 14 starts, so that's a great sign for Webb to probably get you at least 5 strikeouts. The Dodgers starting a couple of younger guys at the bottom of the lineup, so there are some opportunities for Webb to maybe take advantage of their inexperience. So that's the first prop that I like. Not a ton of nerfies, besides maybe the Reds and Marlins one looks appealing. But the next one is going to be taking the over 1.5 bases on Aaron Judge. I mean, Not too much surprise here with Yankees having a pretty high total going up against a lefty that doesn't strike a lot of guys out and can get susceptible to some fly balls. So I really love Aaron Judge to possibly double that total and give you 4 with a bomb, if not a couple of more hits, and just crush that prop. Looking at the fantasy score prop, one that I do like is Mike Clevinger over 34.5. I think he's going to pitch pretty well against Colorado. I know he's kind of getting back to going 5 or hopefully he can go 6 innings of quality ball and not really give up some earned runs so he can get the quality start and possibly the win. Even though I don't have Max Scherzer in my DFS lineup, I still want to take his over 43.5 fantasy. He's been pitching great recently. He's in the mix for Cy Young in the National League. I think Alcantara is a front runner for that, but he's also making a case the way that he's been pitching recently, even though he wasn't completely healthy the whole season. So Scherzer at 43.5 looks appealing. And then the last prop, don't mind going a pitcher prop. I'm going another total bases prop, and you got both Alvarez and Judge here, both at 1.5 bases. It's very likely that hopefully both can clear. Won't take too much, especially if they both happen to go yard. We're getting 2 of the best hitters in the league, in pretty good matchups. Maybe Alvarez doesn't have the greatest matchup against Eovaldi, but I still like the platoon advantage, and Alvarez this year just has to really cut down on his strikeouts, so he's making good contact and always gives you that home run upside. So that's what I like for prize picks today. We got over 4.5 strikeouts on Logan Webb, over 1.5 bases Aaron Judge, over 34.5 fantasy on Mike Clevinger, over 43.5 fantasy Max Scherzer, and over 1.5 bases on Yordan Alvarez. Other prop would be the Nerfy in the Reds-Marlins game, and possibly the Nerfy in the Dodgers game as well to close out the night. But that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Best of luck tonight. You can use the code PROCESS if you haven't signed up yet on PrizePicks, and I will see you all next time.